I do acknowledge that you're usually taught to do like first you do your rough outline, then you do your actual outline, then you turn that outline into a rough draft, and then you turn that rough draft into a first draft, and then that first draft becomes a second draft, and then a third draft, and then you finish it. I don't do that. I start with a blank page and I begin writing the final draft, and I proofread it as I go, and then I finish. The end. That's how I write. That is how I work, but maybe that's just me. There is actually like a word for this that I've learned. The former would be called top-down thinking. It means you start at the top and you work your way down. Or specifically, you start with a very broad picture and then you gradually zoom into the details, right? The opposite is less common. It's bottom-up thinking. I am usually a bottom-up thinker. This means that you start with the minute details, and rather than zooming out, you just kind of move left to right, if that makes sense, until you have the entire picture fully done with all the details. I'm a bottom-up thinker. I start with the fine details. Sometimes it's a strength, sometimes it's a weakness. It goes both ways. Same for top-down thinking. It has its strengths and weaknesses. I think, for example, top-down thinkers are generally really good leaders. They're really good at like planning a lot of the time. Bottom-up thinkers are better at like executing or following. Usually they're better at like following an order that someone has given them and then, putting all the details into practice. It depends on the context though. Yeah, sometimes with that line of thinking and with that method of writing, I get caught where, I don't really write with an outline anyway, and I don't know exactly what I want the details to be, so I don't see them. They're not there. So I spent a good 5+ minutes of that last 20-minute section just staring at the page like, It does depend on the task or situation though, yeah. And sometimes I do actually try to adapt more to top-down thinking. For example, in Animal Crossing, a way of me trying to do that is introducing the blueprint. But you may notice already that I'm kind of derailing from the blueprint and just kind of doing things by ear when I'm on the map itself, right? When I'm actually there doing it. That's more compatible with like the Calyx mode, with my method of starting with a small area and just doing it, filling it up with details, and then moving from there. That's why I have my entrance fully decorated, and then the rest of the island is just like crazy. I have to only write down when I think of something, or do I just word vomit to get something down? I do not word vomit. That is not a thing I do. If I write it, it stays there usually. And if it doesn't stay there, it's only minorly changed. For me, the make it exist first, make it look good later method, it does not often work for me, I'm afraid. I have to put a perfect circle on the page the first time. And usually I manage to do it. But it's because I draw the circle in a bunch of tiny little parts. Like I draw this part of the circle, then this part of the circle, then this part of the circle, then this part, 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 and then I've got a whole circle. You know what I mean? Makes you so slow. That's my problem. I think I've shared before that one of my biggest struggles with work and with keeping up with others, even now, like with my peers in this new gig, is that I work really, really slowly. I do good work, and I'm proud to say it. I am proud of my work just in general. I do a good job. I have a high standard of quality, and I usually don't fail to meet it, and I'm very proud of it. And I think I am an asset to any group that I'm working with. However, I work so slow. I'm so slow. It takes me so much longer than other people. Like, go at your own pace, but like my pace is minimum 5 times the length of the average person doing the exact same thing, sometimes with the exact same results. So that can be kind of frustrating. It feels sometimes like I have to schedule twice as much time to do a task as somebody else, and that can be like part of it almost feels unfair sometimes. It's like, why do I have to put in so much time for something that somebody else could do so much more quickly? But I don't think that matters in the end of the day. What matters is the effort. And I still have a product that I can be proud of, so that's cool too. It just takes me longer. It was a lot harder, especially in like school. It took me so much longer to do homework, for example. So the moment I started doing difficult homework, when I started doing college courses, ooh, it was rough. I do hope that even though this world is not built for you to go at your own pace, I do hope that you aren't too afraid to go at your own pace. Take the time you need to finish things. I realize that this life comes with deadlines. It comes with obligations to fulfill. And I realize that we don't really have a choice in the matter. I've been there. I do hope that when it is in your control that you aren't afraid to take it slow. Yeah. It's very important. But it's so frustrating. Ah! Yeah, no, deadlines are absolutely not a bad thing. In fact, I love deadlines. To me, deadlines are justice. And when people break them, I feel like the world is going to explode. When people fail to meet a deadline, I'm like, ah! When people fail to meet a deadline, I'm like, I'm squeezing my hands together. I'm like, and then I'm normal, and then I'm reasonable about it. I'm like, okay, realistically, they probably meant to meet this, and there might have been something that came up, something happened. Maybe they got sick. Maybe somebody else had something happen. Then I could be reasonable. But for a moment, whenever a deadline is missed, I'm exploding people with my mind. Deadlines are justice. We cannot always meet them. I struggle to meet them. So it would be hypocritical of me to get upset with people for not doing it. All that matters is that you communicate so that a deadline can be moved.